Welcome to the Six Figure Influencer podcast. I am so happy you're here. Just buckle up. This is when you get this. If you get this, when you get this, which I know you will, this is an episode that you might want to keep coming back to. I'm just going to say, I'm really, really excited about this one. Per usual, this has been a theme. This has been a pattern that has been coming up lately for my beautiful clients. This has also been something that has been front and center of my mind lately in some of the things that I'm going through behind the scenes. And now looking back in hindsight, things that I can see so much more clearly now through this whole concept of what we're going to dive into today. So, per usual, I come and I tell you everything. And here we are. We're going to break it down. And it's this idea of how we are actively being prepared every single day to step into that next level business owner, human, mom, wife, friend, all the things. We are being prepared for that in every moment of every day. But it's really easy to miss because what this preparation looks like challenges, looks like struggle in some case, looks like things falling apart. So before I kind of understood what I'm going to share with you in this episode, it was really easy for me to fall back into victim mode. Why me? Why is this happening? Why does it feel like I'm taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back all the time? Why does she keep doing that? Or why, again, like, why me? Why me? Why me? And of course, because we think that we want smooth sailing. We think we want to know what's coming and when it's coming. We think we want the easy route. But in reality, I think if we were to really see that play out, we would be bored to tears. And that's not ultimately what we want. And depending on what you believe, I believe that that's not why we came here. We came here to grow. We came here to feel and experience the full scope of life and growth and creation and co-creation of all of the things. But yeah, initially it's why can't this just be easy? And the reason why is because if things were just easy, you would not grow. You would not be prepared for the things that you actually want to create in this life, right? You can't just wake up one day and be a multimillionaire or be a 7-figure business owner or a multi-6-figure business owner, because guess what? All of those things come with a set of responsibilities and challenges. And how do you become the woman who can hold and handle those set of challenges and responsibilities? Through growing through those things now, through testing out those waters now, by starting where you are and gradually moving forward and growing into the woman who can hold that, the big thing that you want. I have experienced more growth in the past 10 months than I have in the past 4 years of my business combined. And part of the reason why, a big part of the reason why, is because I was able to reframe the things that come up in my day to day, the things that come up in my business. And it always goes far beyond business, right? This is just like life in general, but per usual, we're going to look through everything through the lens of business because that's why we're here. But I'm able to make this reframe of these things that are coming up. And because of that, I've been able to grow through these challenges, these struggles, these annoyances that come up. I'm able to grow through them and go through them and learn through them so much faster, which has resulted in faster growth in all areas. So prior, and maybe you can relate to this, but this was my story. Prior to like really getting this through my head and really believing it, because this is not just a concept to me. This is not something that I just learned and I'm like, ooh, I want to tell you this because it sounds really cool. I believe this to the core of my soul. And ever since I started like understanding it and really believing it and acting like I believe it, like I said, I've experienced this growth, but like prior to that, prior to understanding that, what my life looked like was the same challenge being delivered to me in different packages again and again and again and a freaking again. Like, am I cursed? Okay. So, like, the most obvious example of this is like old relationships. Okay. So, if anybody listening has dated a certain type, and like you keep getting this certain type again and again and again, girl, it's because you have not learned and mastered this lesson. It's because deep down you know better and you keep avoiding these red flags. And guess what? The universe has your back. And before the universe and God sends you the man of your dreams, the husband material, right? Like the good guy, before they send you that, they want to make sure that you have learned your lesson. Otherwise, if they send the good guy too soon, what are you going to do? You're going to ruin it, right? You are going to traumatize this poor good guy and he's going to go away and he's going to marry somebody else and you're going to be heartbroken forever. No, I'm just kidding. Not forever, but like that for me, I can look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it took me so long to finally learn. And what's crazy, I was not planning on talking about Chris in this and my relationship, but I will say, oh my gosh, am I going to talk about? Okay, I'm just going to talk about it. So, okay. I was not planning on this, but I think it's such a good example. Prior to meeting my husband, Chris, who is the best thing that's ever happened to me, I dated a few different guys. I've always been a relationship person. And there was one particular guy who I dated for years before Chris, who like we weren't a good fit, right? We were both really young and we had a connection, but like we were not right for each other. And also, like, he did not treat me well at all, like, not even close. But I was young and you think you can change somebody. And I thought he was the person and he would eventually come around. And, it was just like this endless cycle of back and forth. Right. And I wanted like toward the end of our years together, and I'm talking years. So like the last 2 years, I knew like I need to get away from this guy. Like it's no good. I know I deserve better, but like it was so hard. We just had we were together for a long time. It was hard to walk away. Anyway, so I would like try and date, like in between, we would break up all the time. It was constantly on and off. So like in between, I would try and date because I just wanted to move on. So I would date and I would date really good guys, but every single time, and I'm talking like good guys catches, right? Great dudes. But every single time, what would I do? I would go back. I would go back every single time. I would date this guy. I would lead this poor guy on, and I would always go back to the other guy every single time, right? Until I met Chris. And something was different about him. I will say that. He checked all the boxes. I used to think, I can't believe we're talking about relationships, but this, like, it matters. It's like, it's part of it. But like, he was a good guy. He was funny. Like he checked all of the boxes, which I didn't think I would ever find. I was like, I'm going to have to settle. Otherwise, like something's broken to me. I just like the bad guy. But like, then I met Chris, and there's that period in the beginning of a relationship where you're not like official yet. And you're not like in love. You like him, right? Like I liked him, but we weren't in love yet. And we had been talking like we lived like 3.5 hours apart. We've been talking a lot, but like, there was a period and we started doing like long distance, but there was a couple of months there that like, I liked him. I saw potential, but I wasn't like in love with him yet. So this is scary territory when you're trying to get away from the dude that you're kind of attached to that you shouldn't be with, right? Because guess what he was doing? He was trying to come back and he was freaking out and all the things. But something in me, I was like, I can't do this. I can't mess this up, right? And for the first time, this was the first man that I dated that I did not go back, not even once, didn't even think about it. And I blocked, I deleted, I stood firm. And I said, I have to see this relationship through. I don't care. And it was hard. It was not always easy because homeboy was like, he was campaigning hard. Let's just put it that way. It was not easy. It was very hard because I had feelings for him. Long story short, we see how that worked out. And I truly believe, I know in my soul that the reason why is because I finally learned the lesson. This was another test like, hey, here's a good guy, a really good guy that will be an incredible husband for you. Like everything you want, everything you desire, like that's possible for you. Are you going to mess this up? Are you going to let this go? And I didn't. And here we are. Right. And like, so like same in our business. Okay. And there's like, it's just interesting because you can see this in so many different ways, like these patterns. So I would start to pay attention, like what patterns keep coming up for you that you're like, what the frick? Why do I keep attracting this in my life? Why do I keep, like, I have a sweet client who a pattern that keeps coming up for her is this like people pleasing situation where like, she wants to grow. She wants to see, she has this incredible business and like, she's ready. Like all the things are in place. She's not experiencing the growth at the rate that she wants. And we kind of like broke through and kind of figured out that one of the reasons why is because she has this deeply ingrained people pleasing piece of her where she is like, she desperately like cares about what everybody thinks, which, okay, that's sweet. But when you're growing a brand and a business online and you want to be seen, there's a duality to that. Yeah. Being seen means being found by more of the right people. And, more popularity could also mean more sales and all of these good things. But also that comes with some negative as well. That comes with people not vibing with you. So she has this deep fear of not pleasing people. So like energetically, she's blocking herself from being seen and from like really growing. So it's like, I think that would be so cool. And do it at the end of this episode because we have so much to cover, but like you can start thinking, okay, what are the things that I'm like consistently working on that's consistently coming up? Because when I tell you, this is the key to unlocking your code. Okay. So here's the thing. We want big things. There's a reason why you're listening to this podcast. There's a reason why you were drawn to this episode because you want the big thing. You want the big business, the impact, the wealth, the travel, the experiences. You want the relationship. You want the health, the wellness. You want it all on some level. And your all looks different than my all and all those things. We know this. I don't think I need to qualify that anymore, but like you want your all. And I want to tell you that you can have your all. That is like, if you want it, if it's on your heart, I believe we are here to make it happen. That's why we've come here, to grow through the things so we can create the life experience that we uniquely want to create. So that part's cool. Yeah. You want it for a reason. And guess what? It's possible. Yay. Okay. Awesome. And those big things are really sexy. They're really fun. Wealth is sexy comes with a lot of perks: travel, experiences, impact, popularity, big businesses, notoriety, all super sexy and fun. We want it, we can have it, and there's a good reason why we want that. And also, those things come with a lot of responsibility. So, like I said, with anything, you can take any situation, anything on the planet, and you will find that there's a positive and a negative to it with everything, no matter what we're talking about. And that's called duality. There's two sides of everything, a positive and a negative, a light and a dark. That's called duality. So, with more money and our want for more money, which of course that's what we want, the positive to that is more opportunity, more freedom. We get to buy the car. We get to give back to the charities that we want. We get to retire our spouses. We get to travel. With money is the freedom and the opportunity. It's sexy. Of course, we want that. Also, I don't want to say downside, but like the negative, if there were a negative, which I think we can agree, there's plenty of negative that comes with large sums of money, like more responsibility. All of a sudden, you get known for having large sums of money, and family reaches out for support, right? You get looked at as like the caretaker of the family, like that can happen. Judgment. We know that happens a lot. Pressure. More money means more money to lose. Okay. So positive and negative to these things. Let's talk about big business, which I know you want. You want a business that's either big or successful, like whatever that means for you. So in a lot of cases, that means like more clients or customers, or maybe higher levels of clients and customers, which means more revenue, the notoriety, the fun, the popularity, the being seen, the engagement, the name. So freaking awesome. And the flip side of that is, again, more responsibility. When you have a bigger business, you probably have some sort of team that you are now responsible for. Again, more to lose. It's one thing to F up in the beginning of your business when nobody really knows you versus a few years in when thousands of people are watching. A bigger reputation to tarnish. Same thing. It's one thing to have a program and not really know what you're doing and it not go so great when there are 5 people in it versus doing that and misstepping in some way when 500 people are in the program. Or again, like you have a bigger reputation to tarnish, more people talking about you. That comes with a name. More people are, singing your praises, but also if there's an amount of people loving you, there's of course going to be an amount of people that don't really vibe with you and they're talking about it. So my point in sharing that is it's so easy for us to dream and it's fun to dream of the positives and like all the things, right? Of what we actually want and what we want to create. And that's a beautiful thing. And we should never stop doing that. But the problem arises when we set out to go get that thing and we decide, okay, this is what I want. This is what I deserve. I'm worthy of this. I know that. And you go to do it and you notice that it's not coming to you very quickly. And you start to wonder why. Why is this not happening? I don't understand. This is taking me a really long time. Why can she grow her business? Why is she seeing this success in 6 months when I've been doing this for 6 years? Why does everybody get the guy and I keep getting not the guy, like the opposite of the guy or the girl or whatever your vibe is? Why Why? I know I'm ready to call in more money. I'm so ready to call in more money, but it seems like it slips through my hands every 2 seconds. Like as soon as I get money through the door, then a bill comes in or I get, a flat tire or all these things happen. Like, why does this keep happening to me? And that's that victim mentality. Why? Why me? Ugh, they're the lucky ones. And here's where a lot of us go wrong. Because one, we do the victim thing. Ugh, it's just my luck. Oh God, that saying is trash. Like if you ever catch yourself saying that, smack yourself in the face, unless it's something positive. Like if something really good happens and you're like, ah, it's just my luck, then you nailed it. But like anything bad, side note, sharp left. Um, my bags didn't come to whenever I went to the BVIs. I shared in Kelly Brock's podcast that like my bags didn't come until the last day. And it was very frustrating. And I was texting my sister about it. She was like, "Did your bags come?" I was like, "No, they're not here yet. They're not here yet." And she was like, "LOL, just your luck." And I was like, try again. That is, first of all, that is not my luck. This is actually opposite of my luck. This is just something I'm here to learn something and I'm going to figure it out. Okay. But like I was offended. So anyway, so all of us, like it's very easy to like victim, all the things, or I think even worse than that, I'm just not meant for it. I thought I wanted the big business. I thought I wanted that thing. I thought I wanted fun in my life. I thought I wanted the good guy, but maybe that's just not supposed to be my experience. Maybe I'm just meant to deal with awful people for the rest of my life. Maybe I'm meant to have a small business or I'm not meant to have a business. And that is not the answer. Like, no, if you are spiritual, do you think God was just like, okay, she could be successful. She can be successful. She could, yep, her too. Yep. Him. Yep. Successful, successful. No, not that one. No, that one I want to date really awful people. I want her to be in debt for a really long time. I want her to try really hard in a business, but like struggle. I'm feeling that for her. Yeah, she's giving me struggle vibes. So I think that's like, do you think that really that was the process? That our creator was like, yeah, everybody can have that, but not you. Sorry, I'm in a bad mood. No, that is not how it went down. I don't care what anybody says. Like, absolutely not. But a lot of people, like, if you were to look at your beliefs and the thoughts that you're thinking, that's what you're thinking on the level of like, I guess it's just not meant for me. So here's the reframe. Here's what I want to support you with today in this conversation, because that's absolutely not true. And there's a couple of things now that I have learned that I think I know what's happening. And of course, like, do we ever know what's actually happening? No. But in hindsight and seeing like my life over the past few months and what's been happening in my world and seeing how fast things have shifted and also what I've been learning and just my whole life experience, like this feels the most true to me. This is what I believe and this is what I want to offer to you. So there's two things happening here. When you are trying to go for the big thing, I don't care what it is, it could be business related or not. You have this vision in your mind and you're going to do it. You're setting out to do it and it's not quite clicking. Okay. There's a couple of things happening. Number one, you are not an energetic match to the thing yet. Okay. So we all have a frequency. We all put out energy. Everything is energy. But we as humans, we put off a certain vibe, a certain frequency. And that vibe, how that's created is how we feel internally. And how we feel internally is based on our beliefs and the things that we actually think about ourselves and the things that we're doing each and every single day. It also is based on the things that, like the actions that we're taking. All of this affects your energy, which affects the frequency that you are putting out into the world. This frequency attracts in certain people, certain experiences, certain things. So like attracts like, right? So Right now, you are operating at a frequency that is aligned with the reality that you see in front of you. And by the way, these things like energy, um, change, growth, like manifestations, these things, it's not instant. And thank God. Because can you imagine you thinking like a horrible thought and all of a sudden that comes true? So thank God there's some lag time here. So you might be hearing this and be like, no, like I'm making the changes, I'm thinking differently, and I'm seeing nothing change. Wait, because there's some invisible forces at place. You don't see it happening yet, but things are absolutely shifting. Your job is to stay the part, keep playing the part. Okay. Keep doing you. You will. It is by law, things have to change. So just hang tight. Okay. So right now, mostly how you have been is aligned to a certain frequency, a certain outcome. That is the reality that you have around you. So take a good look around at your clients, at your customers, at your partners, at the things that have been coming into your life, good, bad, all of it. It is all based on who you are being, who you have been. That's what you've attracted in, okay? You have an energetic match to, or you are an energetic match to the things that are around you. Now, the thing you want to call in, if it's not there yet, or if you don't feel certain, like sometimes okay, it's coming. It's coming. And that's a really good sign. But if it's not there yet, it's because you haven't quite nailed it yet. Okay? You haven't quite aligned yourself to that frequency that's going to get that result, that outcome, that person, that experience yet. You're working towards it, but you're not quite there. So what does this mean? What does this look like? Like, how do you align yourself and help yourself become more of an energetic match to the thing that you want to call in? One, you set the stage for what's to come, right? Like that's one of the fastest ways to do it. So for example, I want to grow my business. I know like I'm going to be a multi seven figure business owner. I know it with every fiber of my being. And that's what I am building in every sense. So I am setting the stage for that now because there's no way that I'm going to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden be a 7-figure business owner. And if I were all of a sudden to wake up and have like that level of clientele, I would be in big trouble because guess what? The stage is not set. And like, if you were to look at my business 6 months ago, that was even like more true, right? I didn't have Sarah yet on my team. We didn't have any systems. I said I wanted to be a 7-figure business owner, but I was operating at the level of a multi 6-figure business at best. And guess what I have? A multi 6-figure business, right? And we're growing and we're seeing a lot of growth. Why? Because I am setting the stage for what's to come. I'm growing my team. I'm working on my client experience. I am taking insane care and so much love with the women who have already said yes to me and who are in my world. We are dreaming bigger. We have things coming down the pipeline. Like the stage is being set. Another way that you help yourself become more of an energetic match of what it is that you want to call in is, like acting as if, right? Operating at the frequency of this thing. So what does that mean? So this means you could call it embodiment. You've heard me, if you listen to this, talk about acting as if before, but it's like, okay, if I were a 7-figure business owner, and I know a lot of people who are, so like I can see what that looks like. So like if I were to operate at that level, if I was that person, what would I be doing? So how do 7-figure business owners, how do they take care of their clients? How do they sell? What systems do they have in their business? What thoughts do they think? How do they take care of themselves? How do they do this, and this? So what we can do, and you can do this for whatever your big goal is. Okay. So if your big goal is you want to travel more. That's big for you. So if you were somebody who traveled X amount a year to some really awesome locations, then how would you start acting as if now? You would probably have some way to rent out your home, right? You would probably know where you're traveling to and start booking some things. You would make sure you have the travel insurance done. You would make sure that, like, if you have kids, what about the school situation? Do you need to have a nanny? Do you need to have somebody remotely? You would, like, how do you act as if? So you can go through and whatever the goal is, like, make a list and start thinking of these different areas. And it's not just business, it's not just like the literal things that have the direct impact, like the literal actions that you think it would take. Like, if I want to grow a business, then I'm going to post X amount of times. But it's so much more than that. It's like, how do you care about yourself? How do you feel? Do you work out? What are the thoughts that you're thinking? What boundaries? Boundaries are huge, huge, especially in growing a big business and building, I mean, just a big business in general. Like, you can't take care of people at a high level and or take really good care of large amount of people with weak boundaries. You can't do that. Like, there's only so much time in the day. You're only one person. So unless you have a big team and people that you're delegating, that's boundaries, like you're delegating and that's amazing. But like, boundaries, that's a really big piece. So you can go through, make a list. What would I be feeling? What would I be thinking? What are the things? What are the actions that I would take? These are ways that you could act as if right now you were already at that frequency. Because guess what starts to happen? When you start doing that consistently over time, that starts becoming your norm. That starts becoming your habits. That starts becoming your personality. You are actively changing your energy and your frequency that is now more aligned to the outcome that you actually want to call in. And then also, like, the big piece of this too is believing that you're capable and ready. Like I said last year that I would love to be a 7-figure business owner, but like, if I really thought about what that meant, would I have felt ready? Me just being by myself with no um, full-time support besides, like, contractors and things like that? No. But you ask me now, we're getting there. We're getting there. And that's building my belief in myself. I know I'm capable. That's not a question. Am I ready? I'm getting there. And we're getting closer every single day. So this is how you start changing your energetic frequency. This is how you start becoming an energetic match for something else. And I think it's really important to say too, that obviously this can go in the opposite direction. So just how you can start increasing your frequency to align to higher, bigger, bolder, better things, we can also decrease it and be aligned to the things that we don't really want. And how you do that is that you start becoming an energetic match to that. So like bad habits, like not being consistent, not taking care of yourself, negative thought patterns, all of these things. Like, if you don't nip these in the bud, you are aligning yourself to a less frequency. That's why things aren't shifting for you. So that's the first thing that I believe is happening here. You're not getting the big thing yet because you're not aligned. You're not an energetic match to it. And that's okay. There's always going to be things that you're not an energetic match to, big things, right? Because once you get to the big thing, guess what you're going to want? You're going to want the next big thing. And that's cool. So like, you're always going to be working on this and it's fun, so that's the first thing that's going on, but we get to work on it. We get to shift it. And when you get good at this, you can make these shifts faster and faster. The second thing that's going on here is that you are being energetically protected from the thing that you think you want. AKA the universe has your back, AKA God is your home, girl, boy, it. Like the universe has your back. And it doesn't feel like that because it feels like I don't have what I want yet. And that sucks. It feels like I'm being punished right now. But in reality, go back to my relationship example. If Chris Reeves flowed into my life a year before he did, when I thought I really was ready for him, when I thought that I really was ready to find my person, I would have messed it up. I would not be married to him right now. I know for a fact. I would have messed it up and he would have moved on and married somebody else. And that would have been, I mean, just thinking about that makes me want to cry. Like I could cry right now, but I thought I wanted him. I thought I was ready for him then, but I wasn't, because all of these opportunities for me to prove and learn and like really learn the lesson and really act as if I was ready for a good relationship, I failed. Same thing in my business. Last year, 2 years ago, I'm ready for a 7-figure business. I am a 7-figure business owner, every affirmation in the book. And I had plenty of opportunities to rise, plenty of opportunities to bring on support, hire mentorship really early on, high level, play bigger, set boundaries, be super consistent. And I didn't. I did some things really well, but like boundaries, it's only recently that like I'm really serious and intentional with my boundaries. Obviously, we've talked about support. Holding money. If I had a 7-figure business 2 years ago, oh, I don't know. And again, like what comes with a 7-figure business? The higher level clients or the more clients. I was not ready for that. I wouldn't have been able to hold it. I would have gotten it and ruined my reputation, traumatized myself, right? God had my back. It was like, I hear you. Yeah, you're worthy of this, but you are not ready. And I know because we keep giving you these opportunities to rise, and girl, you're not rising. So this is where I'm saying, like, start looking at your life and just look back maybe like a year and see if you can start noticing these patterns of things that keep coming up, things that you keep struggling with, people pleasing, judgment, hiring, investing in different things, letting go of money so more than can come back in. Just like anything, look at it. How many times have you and it's going to come again, it's going to come in different packages. It'd be way too easy and obvious if it was like the same exact thing over and over. Then you'd be like, oh, I see this, right? That's like cheating on a test. No. Like you have to actually learn this thing. All right. So what you'll find is you are going to get the same lesson over and over and over again until it clicks through your head and you act differently. And you act as if you finally get it and you really get it. So in episode 135 of the podcast, it's titled Cracking the Code to Your Higher Level Self. We talk about this too. So if you like this conversation, go back and listen to that because you'll really enjoy it. But the way that I think about this is like, let's pretend, let's talk about business, right? Let's pretend like our business, there are different levels to our business, right? There are like beginner levels, intermediate levels, and then expert levels. So you're on a certain level right now. And as you learn, as you change things in your business, you start bumping up levels. Okay. And you are at a level right now. Like if you feel like you're stuck, You feel like you've plateaued, which I know, like I've felt like this so many different times in my business. But if you feel like you're stuck right now, it's likely because there is some lesson that you are not learning. There is some code that you have the opportunity to crack and you are not cracking it. Therefore, you're not moving up. So, the way I like to think about this is like in Super Mario, you know how there's different levels, and in the different levels, it starts out easier and then it progressively gets harder. And at the end of every level, there's like the monster thing that you have to kill. There's like the big challenge that you cannot go to the next level until you kill that thing. Literally, that's life. That is life. That is business. That is like all the things, growth, evolution, like that's it. So if you're feeling stagnant and plateaued, what are you not learning? Because I can guarantee you that if you start paying attention and you shift from victim to hero of your story and you start looking at challenges not as struggle, but as opportunities to rise, as opportunities to actually learn something and grow through it, you are going to blow your mind how fast you grow. You are going to blow your mind what shifts and what starts shifting in your world. I have lived this. I have seen this. I'm seeing this in real time. Like you could probably hear the passion in my voice. This is legit. So, like, even if you aren't, let's say you're not spiritual, let's say you're not religious. Okay. So you're like, the universe has your back. What? Okay. I also believe there's such thing as subconscious protection where you still want the thing, but deep down in your subconscious, you know you're not passing these tests. You know that, like, yeah, while you're worthy of it, we're all worthy of it. You know deep down if you're ready for that or not. You know deep down if you can hold that level of revenue or that level of responsibility. You know deep down. So even if you're not buying this energetic protection conversation, which is fine, there's absolutely such thing as subconscious protection. And if you have a deep, deep, deep subconscious belief that you're not ready for the thing, then you are going to self-sabotage yourself every step of the way, every time you try and go for it. And you can go look and see examples of this in your own life too, right? So like my relationship example, yes, I want the guy. I'm ready for the good guy, but self-sabotage, you go back to the old one every single time. So that's another way to think of it. So like, here's a couple of examples in my own business, just to like give additional context to this. So a big area or something that we are calling in right now in my business is wanting to attract in higher level clients because I'm playing at a higher level. I've grown now $1 million in revenue over the span of my career. Last year, we did over $500,000. This year, we're on track for currently 7 or 8. And we already know how fast that can change. Like last year at this time, I was on track for 3 and we did 5. So things can change so much. Right. So like, I know I can support women who not just want to hit 10 and 20K, but they're ready to scale to consistent 50 and plus, just like I am. So I'm ready to attract in more of those women. Because of that, I'm starting to notice that I am getting a lot more opportunities for higher level management, for boundary setting, right? Because if you think about it, if I'm wanting to work with women who already have established businesses, they've likely already worked with a few coaches, they have high standards for their life, for their business. So they absolutely have high standards for their mentorship, then they're going to expect a certain standard when they work with me. So now I'm getting these opportunities and I'm noticing these areas of my business that aren't quite to that standard, or they weren't, right? So like, this is why we moved from our old program of selling and hosting programs like Member Vault and Facebook to Kajabi, because it's a better user experience. Um, I have had situations lately come up that have required me to set boundaries within my group containers, which I've never had to do before, which is something that the old me would have shied away from because I don't want to be direct. I don't want to potentially cause conflict or make somebody uncomfortable. But there's been some situations that have come up that called for me to step forward as the leader and facilitator of this container to say, hey, that's not how we do things around here, to really hold the integrity of my group. So when this is happening in real time, it's like, why is this happening? But now taking a step back, it's like, I know exactly why that's happening because I'm learning how to handle that so that the more higher level women, the more women that I'm pulling into these groups, when these things come up, I know how to handle it and nip it in the bud and fast. Okay. So that I don't ruin my reputation. So that women who are making X amount and at this level, they want to continue working with me and they're happy versus regret it. So that's one area that we're working through as well. Another area, I want my podcast to continue to grow. And we have noticed like quite a bit of traction here lately. I've seen my downloads go up. Just the amount of women that have reached out to me that are like loving the conversations that we're having and the vibe and who just found me from the podcast, like all of it is increasing. And I want it to continue to grow in addition to my social media, right? Like, of course, that's what we're doing here. So with that, because remember, there's a positive and a negative. The positive of that is all the things that we already know, the notoriety, the ideal clients, the downloads, the testimonials, the numbers, all those things, and criticism. People that don't vibe with me, right? If the more you shine your light, the more that the right people can find you and the more that the right people can fall in love with you, but also that also can pull in some people that you're just not their cup of tea, right? You can't make everybody happy. So what I started noticing is like, I would get like a review that's just not nice, clear, just like not it. Or, just like some comments about some things that I would say. And initially, this triggers the heck out of me. Initially, it's like, you're not even listening to, like, clearly you don't even listen to this podcast, or clearly, like, you misunderstood me. And it's triggering me. And I start getting like, I start pulling into the victim, like, why can't they just hear me? Why would they leave a nasty review? Like, why are they, all the things that we say. And then it clicked. It's like, wait a second. If I want to continue to grow, which I do, if I want to attract in more people, more of the right people, part of that is I'm going to have to be able to handle criticism. I'm going to have to be able to handle some people finding my stuff who aren't ready for it or just don't want it and have opinions about it. That's part of it. There's no way to avoid that. So this is my opportunity when those things come up, instead of taking it personally, instead of retaliating, which I've been known to do, and letting it throw me off course, being like, okay, that's their opinion. I'm going to focus on the people that get it. And I'm going to continue shining my light because what can you do? And just taking it as it's just part of it. Just like there's good and bad to any other thing. It comes with the territory. So I need to be able to handle that. And the last example that I'll use that I know is going to hit for you, because most people here listening are you're wanting to work with clients or customers, or you're like growing a team, right? So a big pattern that I noticed in my life, in my business, and also that a lot of my clients are working through right now is a lot of these just like, they see results, they're starting to, their business is growing. And then all of these like little challenges are coming up. for example, somebody requesting a refund or, not paying their payments, or a group getting out of control, or negative feedback, or like nasty comments online. All these little things that are just like annoying opportunities that could like have them to stumble or second guess what it is that they're doing. And what I help them see, because this is what I've had to see for myself, is for like, for me, what am I trying to do here? What is the point of this podcast? What is the point of my business? My goal is to help women create wildly successful businesses and lives that they are obsessed with. Like, that is my mission. Okay. But how am I going to help somebody do that and navigate the challenges and the duality that come with that if I haven't done it myself? Do you see what I'm saying? How am I supposed to mentor a client in hiring her first team member, her first employee, when it's time to do it, when I haven't done it myself and I haven't worked through those challenges and uncomfortable situations myself? How am I going to mentor my client into attracting in and charging higher, more like higher for her offers so she can attract in more money if I won't raise my own prices and navigate the mind drama that comes with that? So I can look back now in hindsight and see where I have navigated every single one. I have overcome every single one of these obstacles myself. And at the time, it was not fun. But now, what am I? I'm wiser. I know my stuff. I've lived it. Thus, I can help you now do the same faster. So now, like, same thing with my clients. They're in, we're on these calls. They're like, yeah, but this thing keeps happening. And I'm like, yeah, but like, what are you trying to look at? The profession you're trying to build. Look at the type of mentor you're trying to be. Are you not going to be helping women navigate the same thing? Oh, yeah, I am. Yeah. So all of these things are here to help make you better and stronger and wiser. So then you can turn around and you can actually help that higher level client or customer or team or whatever it is that you're trying to grow. So like one of my favorite things and ways to think about this is like, there is a big difference in reading a book about swimming and trying to teach somebody how to swim from reading a book versus getting in the pool and figuring it out, right? There's a big difference in a coach or a mentor who wants to help other people build businesses, but they've only hired other mentors. They've never done it themselves. They read a book on it. They took a course in college. They got a certification. And now they want to help you do the same, but like they haven't been through the challenges. They've barely gotten started themselves. Big difference in that versus like the woman who's been grinding for the past 4, 5, 6 years and have seen some things and have navigated some things and have come out the other side and who can tell you about it. Big difference. So I can guarantee you can look around you now and say and see these correlations of like the things that you're dealing with, the struggles, the frustrations that you're currently navigating, and see how this is going to help your career and how this is just going to make you so much better because you went through it. So it's like, it's all such a cool reframe because there's such a difference in how you operate when you can navigate a situation and say, okay, this sucks. Like this is really super lame right now, but this is happening for me. I know this is happening for me. I can't connect the dots yet. I don't know why this is happening, but I bet in a couple of months, I'll be able to look back and I'll be able to see so much more clearly. And can you not do that already? How many situations, how many negative things have happened in your life where at the time you're like, what the frick? Why? Like, I will never understand why this had to happen to me. And then sure enough, months later, a couple of years later, you can look back and be like, I see. That makes sense now. And in a lot of cases, even have gratitude for a really crappy situation because of that. So you can have that reframe. You can have that mindset now. How much more vigilant are you going to be with that thought process versus victim? It is night and freaking day. And then when you, again, you learn these things faster and you start moving forward versus staying stuck and looking at these challenges as opportunities, instead of opportunities to grow and move forward, opportunities to stay stuck where you are. Big freaking difference. So like I said, take a minute, look at your life, write down, notice like what challenges are coming up, what patterns, what keeps coming up for you. This is not a coincidence. This is all for you happening and pointing to your next level. These are the codes that you can crack that is going to unlock the next level, the next version, the next, however you want to think about it. You got to unlock it. You do not move forward if you don't. So you're probably closer than you think, really. So just keep paying attention, keep learning, keep reflecting, drop the victim mentality, and keep rising. It's not on accident. You're not unlucky. You are not the least favored. You're the most favored. And that's why you are having these opportunities. Because when this lands for you and you get it, you are going to be next level incredible. This right here, what we are talking about, this conversation, is the work that actually leads to true, significant, next level results. Next level. This is one of the biggest reasons why I've seen the growth that I have lately, because I'm getting this and I'm acting like it. And it goes so much far beyond business. This is our life's work. This is not just business. This is literally life. So anyway, I love you. I hope you enjoyed this. If this is something you enjoyed, if you enjoyed this in any way, if this gave anything to you, please let me know. Please screenshot, please DM me. It means the world to me. If you feel called to leave me a review, that would be amazing too. But more than anything, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you, and I will see you here next week. Bye.